Okay, we've got a 5-ton condensing unit. You want to get this registered with the manufacturer ASAP. I have a clue here. It's telling us that our evaporator coils might be oversized to compensate for the lack of SER, your SEER rating. Okay, so it's something you might want to think about. We've got the right kind of piping insulation. We've got the right kind of valve caps underneath there, so everything's fine. It's a 1-year-old system. We'll operate it here in a little bit, but by the way, you should know that, but that's not why we're here. We're here for electrical. We're on the east side of the garage. This is the main service disconnect. This is the meter right here, and this is the main service disconnect. And L1 and L2 have been protected. These don't have to be. They might in the future. We got this loose wire right here on the ground. Again, you'd never know. It'd be hard to measure that. But we do have that. Moving on along. Inside, this is the load center. Okay, we have the main principals outside. Inside is the load center. We got another principal inside of here, and it does not have to be insulated yet. Just the first two. And then as the code cycles change, most likely it's going to work its way down the line. So, but here we are. And what are we looking for? One thing we don't have is we don't have the bonding location. Here's our bonding right here inside the wall. And we do not have our bonding location labeled. And we've got a little bit of a gap up here. And our panel is hand labeled. Okay, the manufacturer says it should be printed. That's what the manufacturer says. The National Electrical Code says it should be printed. That's what the International Electrical Code says. The International Residential Code says it should be printed like that. This is handwriting, so I don't know what that means. So pretty much we looked at the cabinet. We saw a loose wire over on the other side. What's going on? This is what's going on. This breaker is for the range. It has a lockout, kitchen range or oven. That's a good thing. This breaker is for the air conditioning system, the condensing unit. The condensing unit is rated for 50 amps. We have a 40 amp breaker. This breaker could trip premature, meaning that it's a nuisance. Breakers trip when they collect too much heat. When too much heat's going through there, they trip to protect the equipment. And this equipment is designed, the condensing unit is designed to withstand 50 amps worth of heat. So this could get 40 amp hot and trip on a nice hot summer day when it could have continued running. It's called a nuisance trip. And you might wait a little while and reset it, or you might call since it did trip, you might call an air conditioning guy out, and that's a service trip. That wouldn't be necessary because it tripped prematurely. So, something to think about. This is the clothes dryer breaker, and this one is supposed to be GFCI protected, and it's not. Okay, ground fault circuit interruption. What else have we got? Well, we've got a false alarm here. One day my client might be selling his house, so I'd like to help out with this. These cabinets, this code cycle, this model number has been recalled by the manufacturer. It's a simple, easy fix, relatively easy. Okay, all you got to do is get somebody that's, an electrician has gone through the program, and he comes in and retorques all the connections, charges you a couple $100, put an orange sticker on there, you know that it's been made right. That's all it takes. And Square D has been also known to, what I hear is they'll reimburse for that repair if this was a truly recalled cabinet. This model number has been recalled, but not every one of them Okay, the serial number sequence, okay, is too high. It's not in the bracket that was recalled. This cabinet and this serial number, by time this cabinet, the production of this cabinet evolved, and by the time we got to this number of cabinets, they had fixed it. So that's a false alarm. If a home inspector looks at this and he knows just enough to be dangerous, and he says, oh, well, that's been recalled. That's what I said. But then if an electrician comes out, he says, well, no, that model was recalled, but this sequence was after the recall. This box was not recalled.